See you tomorrow.
This is Jagger Williamson of your Columbus River Dragons. Your home for River Dragons hockey in Noonan is 99 Rock.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Metis Speaks. I'm your host, Stephanie, and as you all probably know by now, we've been diving into the beats from the Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. However, this week I'm going to take a quick break from that series to discuss an important change happening with Amazon's Kindle Vella program. Now, this affects not only my story, Elementals, but also many other authors who have been using the platform to publish episodic work. Now, if you haven't heard, Amazon recently announced that they'll be discontinuing the Kindle Vella program. Their reasoning is focused on shifting resources elsewhere, but unfortunately, this decision comes as a huge disappointment to many authors who've invested time and money adapting their work specifically for Vella's episodic format. The Kindle Vella platform was created to encourage serialized storytelling, allowing readers to enjoy stories one episode at a time. Now, authors are faced with a situation where their ongoing works will no longer be supported on this platform, and they're working hard to figure out what's next for their stories. For those who've finished their Kindle Vella series, Amazon is offering republishing options through their regular Kindle program, but this still leaves many authors, especially those publishing weekly or biweekly installments, at a standstill. Kindle Vella was truly a wonderful and beautiful idea, offering a unique way for both authors and readers to experience storytelling in real time, episode by episode. Many of us put in the time to adjust our writing styles, embracing the serialized format to bring stories to life in a way that worked specific to the platform. We weren't just writing chapters, we were crafting episodic moments, thinking about how to hook readers, build suspense, and maintain a steady rhythm, which was exciting and creatively challenging in the best way. It felt like a new frontier for storytelling. So it's really hard to not feel disappointed that Amazon encouraged authors to commit to this format. Many of us put in substantial time, money, and energy to tailor our work to Vella's unique style, only to have the rug pulled out from under us with little warning. It's disheartening to say the least. Kindle Vella was introduced with so much promise, and just as authors and readers were getting the hang of this serialized approach, it's being discontinued. We deserve better than to have our work, passion, and commitment to the platform set aside so abruptly. So if you'd like to support authors during this transition, there are some things that you can do. Make sure you're following your favorite Kindle Vella authors on their social media pages. Most of us will be sharing updates on when and where we'll republish our work and what our plans are moving forward. Following us online means you'll stay in the loop and be ready to support us when our stories reemerge. For my part, I'll be working on editing Elementals for eventual republication, and I'm aiming for a launch sometime in 2025. To stay updated, please follow me on Instagram, where I'll be keeping everyone posted as we learn more. You can find me at s.c.lauren on Instagram, so please feel free to follow along for updates on Elementals and any other upcoming projects I may have. Now, Elementals is still available on Kindle Vella, at least to readers who have already started following. So if you're already following, you'll have until then, probably the end of the month, I would say, to read up to episode 17. Amazon promised they'd be available until January. However, I'm finding that new readers are not able to access it. It's been blocked. So hopefully that's just a snag in the program and we'll be able to figure something out. But again, if you've already followed Elementals, you'll be able to continue along. So I think this is a great stopping point if you get through episode 17, if you want to stay up to date with my examples in our Save the Cat series. So thank you for tuning in today and for your continued support through this transition. Next week, we're going to pick back up with our Save the Cat Writes a Novel and dive into the catalyst beat. So if you're following along with Elementals, you're all set until we meet again to break down what makes the catalyst such an essential turning point. As always, thank you for listening and for being a part of this journey with me. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram. Until next time, keep reading, keep writing, and stay inspired.
You're walking, shopping, or on your favorite trail,
You get that feeling somebody's coming up on you. What do you do to be prepared in today's world? Hi, I'm Holly Reese. I'm the founder of Warrior Defenders. As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I'm specializing in women's self-defense. All women of all ages have the ability to learn how to defend themselves effectively. With technical drills to build their survival skills, you can be your own hero. Classes and private seminars are available. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. WarriorDefenders.com.
Hank Arnold here from Coweta Force. Coweta Force is Noonan's own Addiction Recovery Support Center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowetaforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Are you looking for a dog trainer with positive reinforcement to help you bond with your new furry friends, or to have customized training in your own home, or wonderful group classes? Check out Pits and Pals on their Facebook page. Rosemary has extensive certification in dog psychology, is an AKC certified evaluator, and Victoria Stillwell certified training team. Check out Pits and Pals Facebook for more information. Rosemary wants to remind you to adopt, don't shop. Save a life at Coweta County Shelter today.
Shopping for insurance doesn't have to be stressful. I'm Christy, owner of Ellsworth Insurance, located here in Noonan, Georgia. We are an independent agency with access to multiple carriers for home, auto, life, health, and commercial insurance. We are your one-stop shop for your insurance needs. www.insurewithellsworth.com, 770-755-7053. We look forward to meeting you soon.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
Good morning. Welcome to Empower Strike Back. I am your host, H.D. Reese, here on WQEE, the Key 99.1 FM. Thank you, S.C. Lauren with Metis Creative, for your tips on writing for our creatives out there. As you know, I'm a publisher as well, so we want to thank her for giving us those tips every week, along with our other sponsors, Coweta Force, with all your help for the community that they do. Remember, their services are free. Ellsworth Insurance for all your insurance needs. And Pits and Pals Dog Training wants to remind you to adopt, don't shop, and check out your local shelters. They also sponsor, Pits and Pals sponsors a Pet of the Week through Hearts and Homes Rescue. And the one that they want to talk about today is named Zuma. A handsome boy. He's very respectful and he smiles. He's gorgeous. He's been the longest residing dog in the shelter at Selt Road in Coweta County since June. He just doesn't have a lot of people seeing him because he just doesn't stand out because he's a basic little blonde baby in the kennels. And they need to go meet him and see how friendly he is. He is very, very sweet, not very big, and has some great manners. Check him out before he gets on the euthanization list at Coweta County Shelter on Selt Road, or contact Hearts and Homes if you'd like some more information about this baby at heartsandhomesrescue.org. And check out Pits and Pals for all your training needs for your dogs that you rescued, for babies that you'll be bringing into your home for the holidays as well. There is so much to talk about today. We have had some amazing events over the weekends in the local area, and people doing fall festivals and getting out there and enjoying the weather. If you like cooler weather, you're out there enjoying the weather. I'm one of those cool weather people, so you definitely want to stay warm, but there are things that we need to talk about when it comes to cool weather and time changes and things like that. So at warriordefenders.com, we talk about safety, self-defense, women's safety, and safety changes with the weather, believe it or not, because we change the way we wear our clothes, we change where we go, and of course the time change makes it darker. So there's a lot of things that you need to change with your wardrobe and your situational awareness and all of this during the fall and winter months. And also during the fall and winter months, we're always shopping. So we're always being distracted by lists that we have to do. So when it comes to fall, we want to make sure that we do a few things because it gets darker early. How many of us ladies out there will admit that they don't put gas in their tank until the light's on E? Please don't do that. I know quite a few of the people that I talk to, they're like, oh, I have to get gas. Oh, okay, so you're at half a tank. No, I'm on E. My light's blinking. Okay, there's lots of reasons not to let your car go down below half a tank, but especially in the winter months, you want to try to fill up your car during daylight hours before sunset so you can make sure that you have better awareness when you're at the gas stations. A lot of gas stations are lit, but there are shadows everywhere. And for the reason of keeping your car filled up, in case you have somebody following you, you don't want to be on E because you might have to turn around and go to a safety place like a fire station or the police station. If you don't have enough gas to get there, you'll be stranded on the road with some crazy following you behind you. So always keep your tank above half a tank and try to fill up before sunset. Always keep an extra phone charger with you. On warriordefenders.com, underneath self-defense tools and safety items, there is something in my website called the Road Trip. The Road Trip is a safety flashlight that has along with it a seatbelt cutter, a beacon, a light, a magnet so it can stick to your car so people can see you with the beacon. It also has an emergency cell phone charger so that you can charge your cell phone to make a 911 call if you're stranded. There's a few videos on Warrior Defenders YouTube channel that you can check that out and see how it works and how to secure it in your vehicle. There was a story along with the North Carolina flood that I would like to mention, and I'm hopefully going to be able to drop a video about this soon on my YouTube channel. A lady had one of those seatbelt cutters in her car. The car was flooding. When the car flooded, the seatbelt cutter wasn't secured and started floating around the car. Her seatbelt tightened. She couldn't get to the cutter because she didn't secure it. We need to make sure that everything in our vehicle that's for safety is secured. Fortunately, she was able to get out by breaking the window with a few people kicking the door, but when you have a seatbelt cutter or a self-defense tool, it has to be secured and you have to know where it is, because when you actually do need it, it's an emergency. It cannot be not where it's supposed to be. And so we need to secure that. So check that out at YouTube channel at Warrior Defenders, the Road Trip, and how to secure it in your vehicle. It's a good idea to have in your phone already a AAA number for towing when you're out and about in the dark, or a way for you to contact a tow company that you trust. So always have that available in your phone so you're not sitting there maybe in a bad service area where you don't have service signal trying to look up something on the internet on who you're going to talk to. Have somebody you know for a tow company in case you break down. Try not to go to ATMs after dark. I know they're well lit, but people are standing in the shadows. Shadows are one of the places where the bad guys are going to hide. So if you're hovering near an ATM after dark, you're not going to be able to be situationally aware to see around you. So try to get those visits before dark if you can. Park in a well-lit area and parking lots, that is a given. Try not to go down dark alleys because, like, again, shadows are the bad guys. Even in the cartoons when we were younger, shadows were the bad guys. And creepy people started poking around outside. Only unlock your doors if you're immediately getting in your car. If you're sitting there 20 feet away and you hit your button and those doors are unlocked, somebody could get in without you knowing it because they saw your lights go off and on. So unlock the doors as you're getting to your vehicle. Always have your keys in hand, ready to get in your vehicle. And also always have your self-defense tools ready when you're walking around in the parking lot so that you can use them and be at the ready. Remember, adrenaline affects your reaction. If you have not trained through the stress, you're not going to be able to have the reaction you need. And the seconds are so important. They are the vital time. It's seconds, not minutes, for you to defend yourself. Pay close attention to your surroundings at all times. We do classes at True Balance every week for drills and building survival skills, and now that it's dark, we're doing some of these classes outside to show people how to use situational awareness around shadows, where to walk away from corners of buildings, how to be able to walk through a parking lot, how not to walk through cars, looking through windows of other vehicles so you can see if somebody's actually in that vehicle watching you. You watch them. You need to be a hard target and be situationally aware of everything around you. By the way, did you know that Warrior Defenders has stun devices that have flashlights on them? Why are flashlights so important? Flashlights give you the ability to look around, but when it's combined with a stun device, you have the ability to switch from flashlight to stun device immediately and take out the bad guy or use that as a repellent. I've always said stun devices are 95% of the time used as a deterrent because the noise will scare off stray men and stray dogs. So if you don't like animals either, they can get shocked and go away. They do not like that noise. So always check that out at warriordefenders.com for the stun devices as well. And realize that those stun devices through warriordefenders.com have a lifetime warranty on them. So it's better than buying something from Amazon because we want to make sure that people actually can use it to be protected. Now, earlier in the show, we had Smokey Bear come on and talk about the fires. And unfortunately, fires are eating up our West Coast, but they also can be a problem here, especially if you're setting up a campfire in one of our resorts or parks or in your own backyard, or if you're doing a campfire in your own backyard. Another part of safety in the fall is having fun with fires, cookouts, scary stories, all that fun stuff, hanging out with your friends and family in the beautiful weather. But we really need to realize that there are so many things that you need to be prepared to not set a fire somewhere else. And I am one of those girls. I love going to campfires. I love cooking hot dogs and s'mores and just hanging out and looking at the moon and the stars and listening to the trees rustle. I am one of those girls. I'm a hoodie girl. But did you know that in the United States, National Park Service says 85% of wildland fires are caused by humans who have left campfires unattended, burning items like trash or debris that float or maybe cause fires near the tree level that shouldn't be there, not using equipment properly, and carelessly discarding cigarette butts and other items into high brush areas. And that is what's causing most of our fires. So when you're building a campfire, you maintain a comfortable distance of about 4 feet. Make sure that there's nothing around that area to catch fire. Check the local regulations and fire regulations. If we are under fire restriction because of high winds, don't set a fire in your backyard even. Check with somebody and make sure there isn't a fire restriction. Clear the area to prevent embers from igniting. Make sure that when you're setting up an area that you rake all the leaves away. You're just not going to start a fire in the middle of somewhere that's not prepped. A lot of us have fire pits in our backyards and things like that, so just make sure that area around that has been cleared even though you have a permanent fire pit. Ensure multiple reliable water sources are available, and I'm talking like things to extinguish a fire. We're not talking about, oh, I've got a beer sitting here, I'll put the fire out. Have more water sources available than just like the drink that you're drinking, because might not be enough to put that out. And designate one sober individual to be the safety and fire extinguisher for campsites. Always. You can't all be having fun. Somebody's got to be responsible. Pick that one person, just like a designated driver, designated fire person. Only burn wood and kindling. Avoid metal and cans and glass. Some glass, when it heats up, can be very dangerous, and you also don't want to be able not to be able to put the fire out if there's glass and metal inside there. Keep in mind that some things that you can burn in a fire can be toxic for you and wildlife as well. Keep the fire manageable. Large campfires can be dangerous. Don't use an accelerant like gasoline or lighter fluid without some type of safety. Those items can explode if they're kept too close to the campfire. You want to make sure that they also are kept at a safe distance from the fire and kept away from children. Avoid jumping over fires. That should be a given, but we're just going to say it anyway. Don't jump over a fire. You could jump in it. We are not going to be Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the fire stick. You will fall. So don't play that game. Do not throw expired live fireworks into a fire. They may be expired, but they can be dangerous. Keep all things that aren't supposed to be near flammable out of a fire. Loose clothing can catch on fire, so remember that you need to stop, drop, and roll. I was at a campfire not too long ago, and I had on this one shirt, and now I've got a hole in that shirt because an ember landed on my shirt. And I had no idea it was there because it didn't burn me, but if it had burned more, then that would have been dangerous. So we need to be aware the type of clothes we wear around a fire as well, that they're not highly flammable. Never leave a campfire unattended with children or pets as well. So when you're done with the fire and the night is over and you have these really beautiful embers burning, you need to pour water on them so that they will go out until the fire is silent. Scraping logs and eliminating hot spots, make sure all the ashes are out. There's nothing, a fire can still burn underneath the ashes. Stir it up, make sure you're really extinguishing it, add dirt to it as well. A great show to learn about fire that I've seen is Fire Country. Check that out because they have a lot of education there on Fire Country on what actually causes fires.
She just likes that guy.
Well, Brody is kind of cute. So I will say that.
I knew it.
So what happens if you get burned? So you want to have a first aid kit. And there's first, second, and third degree burns. And they all have different options. So I do have a YouTube video on the details for first, second, and third degree burns. But on warriordefenders.com, you want to go ahead and make sure that you look at that to see what levels and how to treat each burn. And do always have a first aid kit in your car. In fact, at warriordefenders.com, we have something called the junk in the trunk. And the junk in the trunk is a fun thing to say, and I have a few videos up there about me dancing with the junk in the trunk. But in the junk in the trunk, it has everything you need for roadside emergency. Even the road trip flashlight that we talked about earlier, as well as a first aid kit, jumper cables, a deck of playing cards if you're stranded on the side of the road. It also has some flashlights and the beacons, as well as screwdrivers and the roadside triangles. And we don't need it much in the South, but there is an ice scraper in there as well. So check that out at warriordefenders.com. It's called the junk in the trunk, and every car, every college student, and every person needs one in their vehicle. So no campfire is complete without tasty snacks, right? We got s'mores. That's basic. We got to cover this. And I am not I'm domestically challenged. I'm not a cook. So when it comes to campfires, I can cook on those. It's not that difficult. The s'mores and the marshmallows and the Reese's peanut butter cups or the chocolate bars. Try the Reese's peanut butter cups. But there's also something called a camping cone. I've never heard of this. It's a waffle cone with marshmallows and chocolate melted in the waffle cone. Now there's a way to eat your campfire sweets. As also along with called Sweet Sammy. Now this one I haven't heard of, and I'm not really sure how you would cook that. The waffle cone, you would stick the pokey through the cone, and you'd have the marshmallows and chocolate already in there, and it would melt together. But with the Sammy Sweet, we have a slice of bread, chocolate hazelnut spread, Nutella, and marshmallows. Now, you might need to figure out a way to jam the bread with that one, but that looks like that's dinner, okay? If you don't want your hot dogs. And then we have something called a bonrito, which is a bonfire rito. And that is a chocolate marshmallow tortilla. So you can make this in the grill, too. If you wrap the tortilla, put the chocolate marshmallows, and you wrap that all in aluminum foil, put it on the grill for a really quick time, or put it in a cast iron skillet over the campfire, then that'll melt really good, and then you have your burrito, and then, of course, then you can have your hot dogs and everything before that, too. But I would love to hear what your favorite snacks are for campfires as well. When it comes to camping out, grilling, enjoying tailgating, things like that, it's always a good idea to make sure that all of your food is well preserved. If it needs to be in a cooler, make sure it's in a cooler. Along with safety for fall, we need to make sure we don't have these foods going bad and then getting food poisoning from eating something that should have been kept in a cooler. So your drinks, we always know to keep them in a cooler, but be mindful of how long your food is left out on tailgating or at picnics in the sun. The sun, even though it's cold outside, can still make things go bad. So keep an eye on things that are being uncovered or exposed to daytime heating or car heating. Don't leave anything in the car that's not a cooler either. The sun will still heat up your food, so be careful with that. With everything going on in the fall, we always are going to be out in festivals and things like this. Keep your kids close to you. Teach them how to have safety in mind when they're being approached by a stranger. And always make sure that they know where they are, because it's dark early now and they're going to be really tied up and they're like, I want to go outside, but it's dark. Keep a beacon on them, some type of a flashing flashlight always on you, your children, or your dogs when you're out at night, so people and drivers can see you. And like I said, always have that stun device available as the adult so that you can see what's going on, because they see you seeing what's going on. They know you're a hard target. They'll stay away. If you ever feel like you need to ward them off, you hit the red button. Enjoy your fall. We will see you next week on Empower Strike Back on WQEE The Key. I'm HD Reese. Be safe. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. Check out warriordefenders.com for all your self-defense and safety needs. And be your own hero.